It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of September 6th, 1996. We got 4 movies to look at today, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, biggest in quotation marks, because this really wasn't a huge hit, but I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. It's Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler in Bulletproof.
Detective Jack Keats took a bullet, but now he's got an even bigger headache because the one man he wants to kill,
I even smell your breath. I will shoot you dead.
is the same one he's been assigned to protect. Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler.
I gotta learn how to fight. This is pathetic. I'm trying to save your life.
Bulletproof, rated R. Starts Friday, September 6th in theaters everywhere.
So this was panned back when it came out in 1996. It was basically, it didn't come out on Labor Day weekend. It came out on the first weekend of September, which is not usually, was back then it wasn't usually seen as a big weekend for newer movies, and this was kind of a little bit of a dumping ground. But yeah, right off the bat, you can pretty much tell it's kind of a role reversal of 48 Hours. Instead of Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, the races are switched around, and this time it's Damon Wayans, and Adam Sandler is the criminal instead of Eddie Murphy. And it very much is like that. It's like a lot of buddy cop movies, but with that said, I still found this movie pretty funny. It's a movie that I think it's one of Adam Sandler's more underrated comedies because it's a film that came out after Happy Gilmore, after Billy Madison put him on the map. Then this movie comes out, kind of disappears from the public eye, doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, but this movie really is funny. Like, it's a movie that I think honestly holds up a lot better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. It does get really stupid. It's a very formulaic buddy cop movie, but Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler work off each other very well. There are stupidly fun moments in this film, some over-the-top ridiculous moments in here. It is not a good film whatsoever. It's a heavily flawed movie, but man, I think it's actually a lot better than people give it credit for. It's one of the better knockoff buddy cop movies in terms of just being more fun, more active, more enjoyable to watch. I mean, recently around that time there was a movie called Fled, which was which was not a very good movie, which tried to do the same thing this did with Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin, which failed miserably. We had so many attempts like that back then, and yeah, this doesn't compare to stuff like 48 Hours or Lethal Weapon, but it's still pretty funny. I still really enjoy it a whole lot. I might be one of the few people that actually do generally like this movie. I mean, I think it's very underrated. I think it's one of Adam Sandler's more underrated movies, and it's directed by Ernest Dickerson, the guy who did Juice and Demon Knight. I really like this movie a lot. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on it. It's largely overlooked in terms of Adam Sandler's movies, but I liked it. I really liked it a lot. So, quick one on that one. That's Bulletproof. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Whoopi Goldberg and Gerard Depardieu in Bogus.
Imaginary character on some little boy's wall. You're not real.
If you believe in magic, believe in Bogus.
He's got a friend? I can't tell you anything about him because he's invisible, and I can't see him.
Whoopi Goldberg,
She has funny hair, huh?
Gerard Depardieu,
She needs a friend.
I really need you.
in Bogus.
And her, you need her too. Yes, you do.
Rated PG. Sneak preview Saturday, August 24th. Starts Friday, September 6th.
Basically Drop Dead Fred if it was intended to be more of an Oscar baitish type of film, which this kind of very much is. I mean, you've got Norman Jewison, who had done Moonstruck on the here as the director, Alvin Sargent, who has written a lot of movies, including most notably Spider-Man 2. But Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg, Oscar nominee Haley Joel Osment, Gerard Depardieu, it was in Green Card. And it does feel very sentimental. It does feel like there is a little bit of Oscar baitish stuff here or there. But as far as the movie itself goes, I watched it. I thought it was going to be... when I saw it the first time, I didn't think it was going to be anything too special. I thought it was actually going to be kind of bad. But I watched it. I was just kind of like, that wasn't the worst. But it certainly isn't a great film. I think the performances overall do carry the load over. I think there is a lot to really admire about the film. I like the ideas that they have in here. I like that it's unlike Drop Dead Fred. It's not obnoxious and in your face like in here. There are moments in here that are nicely done. It's a sweet sentimental film. It doesn't really do anything, but it doesn't do anything too spectacular to make it stand out on its own or make it something you need to see. That I think that may be the biggest flaw to it. It's nothing really all that special, but at the same time, there's nothing really all that bad about it. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of a movie that's just like, I'm glad I saw it. There's no real reason I should watch it again, but like I said, I liked it. I thought it was all right. Um, will I ever watch it again? Probably not. But I thought the performances carried it overall. I thought the ideas were very good. I thought there were some sweet moments in there, but it does feel a little bit too award season baitish type of stuff here. But like I said, not the worst thing ever. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was a decent film. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is James Woods in Killer: A Journal of Murder.
Welcome to Leavenworth, gentlemen. You're here because you've proven you can't live amongst decent society. James Woods.
They tell me you're the worst man in this penitentiary.
He's a man who claims to have killed 21 people.
Robert Sean Leonard. You the new man, Lester?
Yes, sir.
Are you one of these reformers?
God keeps evil men in his care, that he may use them as instruments of his vengeance.
God didn't make these men. Our system did.
In a true story
Anybody writes my story, it's going to be me.
of two men.
He's so intelligent.
I'll make you a deal. You give me a paper and pencil, and I'll give you the story.
Torn between an act of compassion
I trust you.
and a life of crime.
Pretty much tells you the plot there. James Woods plays this criminal who says he killed 21 people, and this prison guard believes in redemption, and he tries to listen in on this guy's story, and it's basically a story based off of a book, I should say, of the same name, on the life of this serial killer Carl Panzam, who was active in the early 20th century and executed in 1930. That actually used passages drawn from his own writings near the end of his life. That's really all I know about this movie. I don't know if it's good or not because I haven't seen the film. I hardly even knew about it. I didn't even think this went to theaters, but it did. It went to a couple of theaters, and I mean, it could be a decent film. I mean, James Woods looks like he's given a really solid performance in here. I don't know who Robert Sean Leonard is. I guess he's from Dead Poet Society, but I really don't know anything about him, honestly, but the movie itself doesn't look too bad. It actually looks like it could be a decent film. It has some pretty good reviews, largely on James Woods' performance here. But other than that, that's really everything I know about this film. I haven't seen it. Can't really say if it's good or not. So I'm going off of this and saying that it could be something good. It's not something I'm going to rush out to see, but I'm kind of curious about it. So that's A Killer: A Journal of Murder. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last movie here, and that is Sweet Nothing.
My name is Angelo Gazzetta. Please forgive me for what I've done.
In March 1991, a notebook was found in a Bronx apartment. It was written by an ordinary man.
I've been married for 10 years. I have a son and a daughter. I don't want to lose them.
But its pages tell a powerful story.
I sacrificed everything I love
You take a shower. You are so smart.
for something that can never love me in return.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Come on, Dad.
Just a second, Rich.
We have $1,600 in back rent, okay? We have a final disconnect notice. Jose's dad got a job.
Why don't you go live with Jose's dad?
It has inspired a film that has been praised by critics everywhere. Sweet Nothing.
Another film I haven't really seen, but this is a story that was based on real-life diary pages found by the filmmakers in a Bronx apartment. And the story basically centering around Mira Sorvino plays this woman who gives birth to her second child, and her husband, played by Michael Imperioli, goes out to celebrate. His friend Ray offers him his first hit of crack cocaine. He gets hooked on the drug, and with the hesitant support of his wife, he decides to sell drugs for a short period of time to get the family out of debt and afford nice things for them. However, Angel's addiction grows, his involvement in dealing increases, and his family ends up taking the toll. So this is a story we've seen done over and over again. Nothing really new, nothing really all that intriguing about it, but I mean, you got Mira Sorvino, Michael Imperioli, two very good actors working in this film. Gary Winnick also directed this film. Gary Winnick is, of course, the guy that did 13 Going on 30, Charlotte's Web, Letters to Juliet. He had a pretty decent film career later on in his life. Of course, he passed away in 2011. But as far as this film goes, I mean, it looks like the performances are okay, but it looks like a story we've seen done over and over again. It feels like a film that would have fit during the time of the war on drugs in the 1980s, but not something in 1995 when this movie was made, and 1996 when the movie came out. I don't know. It could actually be something pretty good, but at the same time, it could honestly be not that great. The performances may be the one thing that makes it strong, but I doubt it. But I don't think it looks bad. I just don't think it looks like anything too spectacular or too amazing, honestly. So, yeah, another quick one on that one. That is Sweet Nothing. So with that said, that wraps up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we'll have Jean-Claude Van Damme and Natasha Hensons in Maximum Risk. Jeff Daniels and I almost said Jeff Bridges. Jeff Daniels and Anna Paquin in Fly Away Home. We also have Halle Berry in The Rich Man's Wife. Keanu Reeves in Feeling Minnesota. Grace of My Heart, American Buffalo, and American Strays. So 7 movies to look at next time around, and we'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you very much for watching, I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.